Good morning from Vinnitsya. Nice way to start the morning, don't you think? Seems to be a bit of rain in the air. Welcome to the walkie-talkie traveller channel. I haven't packed an umbrella, so that means I'm playing with fire. Or am I? Well, we'll have to see how that goes. Oh, hello. Straight away I see a couple of notables. Who are these fellas? Man with a big imposing moustache. There's a couple of funky looking cars over there. We'll see them on the way back, maybe. Outside of the Museum of Model Transport. Hello. A collection of miniatures. Hello. That sounds like my kind of thing now, doesn't it? So, just putting two and two together, there's a suggestion of rain in the air. If that does materialise, I think I know where I'll be heading back to. Pretty sharpish. It seems I'm lucky, but aren't I always? Hang on a minute, let's see if I can cross the road. I've got a feeling I've seen these names before. And these two guys are the brothers who are responsible for the Ukrainian language being written down. Pretty? Don't know what it's doing there, but pretty. I have to say, as I walk up Saborna Street, I like what I'm seeing. Gosh, I'm being so distracted by the architecture here. I'll let you see, shall I? Try and focus on this building now. The building itself, of course, is a little bit of a monstrosity. Or at least it would be if it wasn't for this lovely artwork on the outside. Isn't that pretty? And another one up at the other side as well. There is a man in uniform looking at me. You may have seen the fella. I don't blame him. I have thought about hurrying away. I thought maybe that just makes me look even more suspicious. I've got to investigate this building because I think it's got theatre written all over it, hasn't it? It's a big one. I think it's the theatre. How about you? Zoom in a little bit, just to see a little bit more of the decoration in detail. Again, it's one of those situations where nobody has to make a building as attractive as it actually is, but somebody's taken the effort to do it, and very much appreciated. Lovely. And now I see there's some history to this. It was originally a wartime hospital. I'm only saying that because of a picture of this group of fellas over here from 1919. For those of you fortunate enough to be able to read Ukrainian, you'll know the full story of the building. I like it as it is today in any case, no matter what the history was. And why not leave some things to the imagination? I'm going to tell myself it was a First World War era war hospital for injured soldiers. and it may well be serving a similar kind of purpose these days. But I wasn't going to go and stick my camera in the face of those guys who were sat on the bench outside with their injuries, because I'm sure they really wouldn't appreciate it. So it's another one of those little open squares. Seen a few already. Here's the across the road view of the theatre. Almost forgot to do that. Some lovely carefully carved figures up at the top. That's something to do with the Economic University, or the Economic Faculty of the University of Vinnitsya, it seems. Oh, that looks like a guy I used to know from Poland. David. Yes, David, Crocodile Hostel. Looks like you. Okay, you never had that hat. And you never had a beard that big. And you didn't really have a French looking moustache, but for some reason it reminded me of you. A gentleman's club makes you think, hello, I think I know what that's all about. And then it says barbershop. So again, be careful what you think you might be offered in a gentleman's club if you come to Vinnitsya, because it could be a short back and sides that you're looking for, or not. I can use this zoom, which I'm very much liking. I'm smelling food, and I'm also hearing noises. I'm hearing some singing, I think. Blimey. Well, this looks like a good turn, doesn't it? A good turn to take. Waving or drowning? I'm sure not waving at me anyway. Oh, more people waving. So clearly people are in the weekend mood. I think I might be in the wrong place. There's either an old urinal or a bomb shelter, or somewhere where people like to store their pickles underground through the winter. No access. So another one of life's mysteries which sadly evades me. Ooh, what's this? Dream Lake shopping mall, perhaps? Uh-oh, there's an I love Vinnitsya. You know where I'm heading. There's also some street art. A painting on the side of a building. You know where I'm heading. Which one first? You can go to both. You can go to both. You know what? You're absolutely right. I can. So I shall. Swan Lake. Let's see how close we can get to the swans. I've zoomed right in to try and get a good close-up. Oh, there we are. There's the nicest angle, isn't it? I think. I wonder if they sleep on there when the weather's warm enough. The artist probably isn't happy to see various people chalking their names on their sculpture, but not a piece of outstanding art. Ah, this looks very attractive. Ooh. Spooky. Now I feel as I'm right slap bang in a forest. This is more like it. You can have a lovely hiking experience up here if it extends further. Or, oh, I'm seeing somebody on a bicycle. Speeding bicycles and pedestrians don't really go together very well, as I discovered when I was in Queenstown, New Zealand. I was walking from the hostel in Queenstown up the hill to get to the main lookout point where you can see the whole of the bay and the beautiful mountains. And I was too cheap to pay to go in the gondola, so I walked instead. Part of the way up is shared between high-speed, adventurous, competitive cyclists and pedestrians like me. It was a notable day for several reasons. One, I'm adamant that I saw the rarely spotted black robin in the forest, but my camera didn't get a well-focused picture of the bird. Bit of a tragedy. So we've only got my poor vision and my word to support this statement, but I think I saw a rare bird in New Zealand that day. It was also a day, tragically, when a young guy in his 30s, who's a very well-known mountain biking, cycling type of guy, actually had a heart attack and died. I was only about, I suppose, 100 to 200 meters away from where that happened. I didn't see the guy coming off his bike or anything of that sort, but I saw people attending to him, rushing to try and save his life. Obviously at that stage I thought somebody had just fallen off a bike and was in need of some help. The spaceship is about to take off. Svarog Artinov Hall, Dream Lake. I don't know if the place is called any of those names. Here we have the one entrance to the big park across the road where we've just come from. Now I need to just pick my way across to the other side of the road because there's some more street art to have a look at. A little bit of a close-up. Or I can go full on and get that image. Pirogov, hang on a minute. Pirogov. Now, There is an estate park and museum outside the centre of Vinnitsya, which I saw on a map, and I did a little bit of background reading, and it's connected to a doctor, a physician, but he was more than that. He had his finger in several pies. It's a nice light feature, isn't it? And apparently he was responsible for some major breakthroughs in medicine, in particular in surgery procedures and the speed at which they are conducted, which obviously is beneficial for everybody and perhaps reduces the opportunity for infection later, or not. That was just my thought. Yes, so shall we stand with him in the background while I'm talking about him, if it is him? This is either him or his dad, or somebody with the same last name, Pirahov. And I was reminded of the outdoor ethnographic museum, the Skansen, which has the windmills, the wooden churches, wooden houses, farmsteads, those kind of attractions in a park south of the centre of Kiev, because I think that's called Pirahovo. And this estate, named after the physician, is called Pirahov Estate Museum. And it was only when I looked further that I realised, oh, it's not that kind of an ethnographic outdoor museum. It's actually one dedicated to a man who has a very similar surname to whoever that Skansen is named after. Or maybe it's a word which in Ukrainian is pretty much the same. Maybe a Pirahov. Your guess is as good as mine. Maybe his name is Mr. Dumpling or something. And no, why would they name Skansen Dumpling Skansen? Dumpling ethnographic. No, that makes no sense whatsoever. I'll edit that bit out. So anyway, that's the sort of day trip you might consider, because maybe it's a beautiful park that you want to get lost in, walking away from the crowds. Maybe you read Ukrainian and you can go into his house and read all about him. But if you're me, you can't get the benefit of that. And I'm not that interested. But I thought I'd just point it out. As we've seen the statue, I wasn't going to mention it otherwise, to be honest, because I thought it's a little too niche. So we've seen some street art. Should I stick to the main road? And here we have our buddy, little Patron, the mind-sniffing detectorist who saved so many lives. Bless him. Another nice little piece.